Alright, y'all, this is a great video that I want to show you of the single minority Trump supporter, pro-Trump, counter-protester at the massive 50-51 protests that are happening around the country today. And in this clip, he gets absolutely shut down by everyone at this protest because he just thinks, oh, because, you know, all these other people are protesting Donald Trump, then he's a Trump supporter, that obviously it's about him, and so he has to go in and try to fight some of these people that are clearly outnumber him. And trust me, you don't want to miss how this ends because it is utterly humiliating for him. Nobody gets hurt, thankfully. But before I even think about giving him the time of day that he was so desperately seeking there, the attention, right? I do want to talk briefly about these protests, what they are, give some information, and show the actual real Americans who are fighting back against Donald Trump, fascism, fighting for due process, right? And the brave and patriotic way that they are going out and protesting peacefully, unlike this gentleman. So if you've been on social media at all today, you've probably seen the 5051 hashtag going around. Interesting tidbit about that I'll get to in a second. They are trying to suppress these protests, actually, Musk and Trump, but it is called 5051. That is spelled out. 5050.1 is the website, and it's called that because there are 50 protests in 50 states, and it is one movement. These were people behind some of the other protests, right, back in February, the ones earlier this month. They also have one coming up in May. Today, though, is National Day of Action. And so you can go to their website. They actually have a map that I'll put up here in a second. There's this interactive map on their website. You can actually zoom in and see where there are protests going on near you. However, if you can't make it to one of these protests, there are also ways to engage online, like dropping a like on this video, subscribing to the Really American channel to join our resistance and watch the coverage we will have of this going on throughout the day, as well as interacting with any posts that you see on social media that have the hashtags National Day of Action, as well as the hashtags build the movement, build the resistance, something like that, 5051 movement, and hashtag hands off. And the reason I'm saying that, folks, is because first, before we get into the protests themselves and then that MAGA man getting absolutely shut down, I want to bring this to your attention really quickly, courtesy of one of my internet heroes, MAGA Cult Slayer, saying and showing that Elon Musk claims that hashtags are outdated, yet only hashtag 5051 you can see here. I cannot click on that hashtag like many of the other hashtags used to coordinate nationwide protests against Trump, and Doge has been stripped of its hyperlink on X, Twitter. This isn't a design update, it's a deliberate suppression. Today we fight back. Join the movement using the hashtags down below. And I have that MAGA man getting metaphorically bodied right on the other side of this. But folks, I want to at least put out some positivity first here today. Look at all these places where things are happening. Right now you have protesters, gathered in front of the White House, which is where this incident that we'll see in a second happened. Footage here. That's actually the guy himself in another video. Oh, that's funny. You also have people going in downtown Cincinnati, Ohio, for the Hands Off 5051 rally. Where else do we have them? Independence Hall in Philly. As an Eagles fan, they're going for, it's actually No King's Day too. As an Eagles fan, this just brings absolute warmth to my heart. This one's also in Columbus, Ohio. Good. Let's tag JD Vance in these, right? Remember when he dropped the trophy the other day? And then you got my home state of Trenton, New Jersey, which is love to see that, as well as tons in New York. This one in Buffalo here, tons of people lined up. Look at that, in the inclement weather as well. And then there's a bunch in Manhattan as well. Okay, but now let's get into this. I want to show you guys, this guy just randomly shows up to these protests, starts screaming Trump, and then wait till the end of this clip and just I don't want to spoil it. Let's jump in right here. Trump. Nazis, fuck. Jack somebody. Who said that? Excuse me? I'm gonna jack somebody? You come into a protest and start yelling Trump at an anti-Trump protest and you're pissed? You're gonna jack somebody? It gets worse.
capture the city hideout?
Yeah, clearly this guy has the intelligence of a Trump voter here, right? He tracks down this guy. I guess this guy said something. I didn't hear it or whatever. And then he, macho man, walks over, tries to track this guy down, looking for a fight in front of the White House, in front of a fucking cop car. And then he's like, oh, well, I guess you have to be a protester to see. Like, dude, what are you doing? And it gets worse. He just keeps going. He tracks through the crowd. He says some stuff here where he's just like, throwing around some nonsense. Oh, look at this. Here we go.
We're all free. We're all free to protest how we see fit. God bless America. God bless America.
We're all free. We're all free while people get sent to an El Salvadorian hellscape concentration camp with no due process. But no, this guy says you're free. You're free to protest how you want. Hell, he's free to protest. I'm the one here fighting for your right to come to this protest and counter protest. And you don't see the irony? Get this. Here's the end of the clip. He says some dumb stuff. He goes through, he makes more noise, but here's where it gets really embarrassing, okay? And I'll link to the full clip down below if you guys really want to watch this and get pissed off. That guy looked like James Gandolfini a little bit. Anyway, so he goes up to the gate, and here's where, okay. So now he's walking back, right? Where's he walking back to? Who is he walking back to? Who could this gentleman, moron, be coming to this protest with? Get this. You're not gonna, I mean, maybe you will believe this, and I feel so bad for these people. But check this out. These are the last 26 seconds, and he actually gets confronted about Kilmar Garcia here. Check this out.
Give me a minute. Who cares? He's not a citizen.
He still gets due process.
He's from El Salvador. He came here illegally. What is wrong with you people?
That man showed up there with his wife and children to go and harass counter protesters in an American flag shirt. I don't care. You can tell me in the comments if you think he was just walking around or whatever, just walking with his family. You don't show up like that to a counter Trump protest and then go try to fight some guy in front of the cops, in front of the White House. God, and then praise the lack of due process for a guy who maybe was undocumented but had a legal wife, has a family who are all American citizens, and now he's getting thrown into a torture chamber. And you brought your family, you sick fuck. The way these pea-brain morons will just cheer themselves into a prison cell like it's 1944 just blows my mind. And now he's got to put his wife and kids in potential danger, right? Just for his ego, just because he needs to feel like his dick isn't that small. I really hope that those kids don't end up like him. I hope that they go through like a liberal transformation where they're like, oh my God, my dad's an asshole. Maybe I should be different. Maybe I should end the cycle. And that's what we need to do as a country as well. And that's what we're trying to do here at Really American, because, you know, corporate media is not going to show you all of this crap, you know, this guy going to the counter protest. Hell, they're barely even covering the protests themselves. So if this is something you care about, if democracy and fighting Donald Trump's regime is something you care about, then by all means, please drop a like, subscribe. Thank you to all of you who have helped us reach 500,000 subscribers. We're gunning for 1 million. We could use your support, and we really appreciate you guys. For Really American, I'm Kenny Hesse. I will see you guys in the next one.